I want to welcome Celestine Boyd and Rhonda Jenkins-Rinaldi from the Children's Home Society. Some of you may remember that the Children's Home Society was one of our CFC donations this year. And we were very happy to make a significant donation to their work in support of what they do. So Celestine is a volunteer coordinator of the Weak Hand Mentoring Program. She has been with Children's Home Society since 2009. Rhonda Jenkins-Rinaldi has been with Children's Home Society since 2018. She holds a master's degree in social work and is a certified trainer in the Nurtured Heart approach. Rhonda is a permanency social worker for the Foster and Adopt program with Children's Home Society. And in addition, she is the program coordinator for the Healthy Grandfamilies program, which is a free service to grandparents who are raising grandchildren in the area. So welcome to you both, and thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate hearing from you. So with that, please take the floor.
So much, and we want to thank you also for the generous donation in helping us. It helped us serve a lot of kiddos in foster care, have a great Christmas this year, and they were excited. So Children's Home Society, actually, we have happy news. We have acquired and will be getting ready to move into a new building, a larger building on Queen Street after they finish up all the interior work. Where we're located now, if you're familiar with downtown Martinsburg, is in the middle of 3 streets and a big brown house. So that will stay. It will continue to house our Child Advocacy Center, which provides forensic interviews for children who have been involved with abuse and neglect cases, and work alongside the police department, DHHR, and the court system here. So CHS, our programs in this area, because we have 13 sites across the state, but each site provides different program services. In Martinsburg, we provide foster care and adoption services. We also have a children's shelter, and along with community-based therapy services, the Safe at Home program, which is a wraparound service provided for youth that are involved with youth services through DHHR, and then also the We Can program. And I'll let Celestine speak on that one. We recently began the Healthy Grandfamilies program last year. It was an initiative by Bonnie Dunn, who is a director for the extension unit at WVSU. So last year they got funding from legislator to implement it in all 55 counties, which they were successful in doing. That program is free for all grandparents who are raising grandchildren. It's a 6-month program that provides 8 weeks of educational discussion groups for the grandparents to get together, learn the ins and outs and new information of raising kids in the 21st century as opposed to raising kids many, many years ago. And it's also a time where they can get together with others so they know that they're not alone in this great journey that they've stepped up to do. And then after those 8 weeks of discussion groups, they move on to case management services. And what that looks like, a lot of grandparents who are raising their grandkids, even if they do come through CPS program and through DHHR, they're not afforded the same support as foster families are. So this program provides that support to them through the case management process, which connects them to resources, provides referrals. We can attend court hearings with them or IEPs and things like that. And then after the 6 months, they graduate the program, and they have the opportunity to roll over for additional support group through the RAP program, which is the Relatives as Parents program that's in the area. So they can continue with that support. And that's the program, and the Healthy Grandfamilies program in a nutshell. Currently, we are supporting 29 grandparents with over 20 grandchildren. We're about halfway through our third round. COVID kind of threw a wrench in our plan last year, and it took some creative thinking. So everything's virtual right now, which initially was a little hard to get grandparents on board for that, but they did it fantastic, and it was so exciting coming to the end, and they were pros at Zoom. So that was always an exciting part. Just a quick update on our foster and adopt program. We currently have 87 kids in care with 83 active foster families and 36 families that are actually in process of becoming foster families. So there's always the need. We get referrals all the time for foster kiddos, and usually we don't have enough homes for them, especially 5 and older and teens. It's hard to get foster families involved with that age group. So we're really trying to recruit more foster families for that age group. The CAC, which I had mentioned, they are the forensic interviewers for the area, and last year they just finished their reports. Last year they served 283 children, which is the most they have ever served. They did not slow down with the shutdown and the pandemic. They continued to press on. So with our move, the CAC will remain in our main location, and they are going to actually open up a second interview room, which will be able to provide more help in the area, more interviews for the kiddos that need it. Again, school therapy we offer in Jefferson County schools. We also have community-based therapy locally here in Martinsburg. And our Safe at Home program is the wraparound program, and currently they're serving 7 families. That's a very intensive in-home services to help the family and the kids kind of get on the right track and, stay out of trouble. So, and then our other program is We Can. So I want to let Celestine speak on that because I don't know much about it. So Celestine.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Celestine Boyd. I am the program coordinator for the Children's Home Society Weekend Mentoring Program. And my job is to recruit mentors for children. I take children from 5 to 17 and match them up with a mentor. Now, what that mentor does, he is responsible to do activities with the kids, go see a movie, any activity that he or she would like. Right now, currently, I have 40 kids that's in the program, and I have 15, anywhere from 12 to 15 matches. I'm looking for more volunteers to help with the kids. The COVID did throw a wrench in our program because I was doing activities every other Saturday. Our kids are falling behind in reading and in math. So I'm sitting around thinking, okay, what can I do to help these kids? So we went on Zoom every other Saturday. We do 2 hours because sometimes it's hard to keep the kids focused on if you go any longer. So we got to give them worksheets to do, math. We even do craft. I have a junior volunteer that comes on, and she helps these kids draw. She helps me too, because I don't know how to draw. So hopefully by the next 9 weeks, we can bring the kids' grades up by working with them on Zoom every other Saturday. The one thing about it is the parents have to pick up their Zoom bags. And it started off great, but I know it's the last couple Zoom that the parents have been falling. So I'm going to schedule a Zoom meeting with the parents to get them back on board for them to realize this is important to the kids. I know they're supposed to go back to school in person, but we don't know how long they'll be in there. So I got to leave that Zoom intact in case I need it again to help these kids. We take them on outings. We go to Hoppers Ferry. We visit the museum down there. Some of the kids like walking, riding bikes. 2 hours a week to help a kid is worth it because they are our future and we can't let them slip down the sliding slope. If you know anybody that would like to be a volunteer to help us anyway, we might not be on COVID forever. They can email me at cboyd@childhswv.org and we can fit them in our schedule and they can volunteer. I'll take any questions that anybody has.
Hey, Celestine, this is Stacy.
Hi,
Hey.
Stacy.
How you doing?
Good.
Hey, I just want to thank you because the work that you're doing with the kids in your program is amazing. And I'm curious to know how do your kids respond to Zoom?
They're liking it.
Okay.
They really like it. I thought they wouldn't like it and have trouble, staying on, but we have to make it where keep them focused. So the timeline is everybody gets on, greet everybody for like 10 minutes. And then last week we started doing breakout room. I have volunteers that come on Zoom and they work with these kids in the breakout room. So I've been doing that for the last 2 weeks ago. We've been doing that. And then at the last half hour, we all come back together. And then I have a junior volunteer that helps them to draw. She drew globes, helped them draw their globes, snow globes. We did birds this week. So it's hard to keep them. So we're going to start doing some little mini activities within our rooms that they can keep the kids focused. And I have a little boy that's in kindergarten, and he is hard to keep on track. We have been improving with him. Now he's interested and he shows me his work to the camera that he's really getting interested in doing more of it.
Thank you.
Did you find, either to Rhonda or Celestine, did you find that the children or families had the resources necessary, or was there, did it take kind of intervention or help from you all to get kind of up to speed with the technology needs?
Well, I'm really not a technology person, so I'm trying to learn as the kids learn. And some of the problems I have, I'll be asking the kids, okay, be patient now. We got to get this, especially the breakout room. That was the hardest part, trying to get them into the rooms with their volunteer to help them. And I'm still learning.
And I would say with the grandparents, we actually ended up purchasing 2 laptops for 2 families because they did not have access, good access, and tablets that the school was giving out. The one family just did not want they didn't want them coming home because they didn't want to be held liable for anything that happened. And the other family, I think it was just old. So they were struggling. So the program did purchase 2 laptops. We spent a lot of one-on-one time with the grandparents who had kiddos in school to help them navigate Schoology, to make sure the kiddos were getting their work done. A lot of the kids were happy to be home and doing work. Some of them, they were excited to be going back last week, whenever they started. But and then we have a Facebook page as well for the Grandfamilies program. So we made sure that they always knew when the, food pickups were, and where they could reach out to get support to maintain or to even pick up the food packs that the schools maintain throughout the summer or throughout the fall. So it was a lot of one-on-one with the grand families initially, and then as time went on, they picked it up by themselves. So
I have a couple other questions for you too, Rhonda, if you don't mind.
yeah, sure.
You mentioned that you have 87 kids in care and 83 active foster families and 36 families that are in the process of becoming foster families. Will that be enough, or do you have an idea of how many you would need to sort of sustain that sort of regular turn of foster care?
Well, I don't know if there's ever going to be an answer about sustaining, just because numbers fluctuate. And a lot of our, we try to stick within our foster families' preferences, because if we place with a family and push them beyond preferences, there's more chance of a disruption, which we do not want. It's just more trauma for the kiddos. So, we actively try to bring on new foster families, because some homes, because there is a limit to the number of children that you can have in a home. So if some of our families are reaching that limit, we need another family just to pick up that. So the highest during we did reach 91 kiddos. 2 months ago, I think we were at 91. But we expect the number to increase now that school is back in session, and all the in-home programs some are starting to go in the home, some are still not in the home, they're still doing virtual. So the expectancy is that number will increase. So it's hard to say. I don't think we could ever sustain what is needed.
Did you see any changes over the course of 2020? Like you mentioned that CAC served 283 children, which is more than they've ever served, not less. And I know that, even though CPS reports are down, the actual caseloads are higher in the judicial system. Is that true for you all too? Like, did your cases go up or go down or stay the same?
Our office, the number of referrals we received from DHHR decreased in our area. I've noticed Hampshire County actually stayed pretty active throughout the pandemic, and a lot of our referrals were coming from there. Mm-hmm. But Berkeley, Jefferson, they reduced drastically. Mm-hmm. So, and also the CAC also gets referrals directly from, the police, law enforcement, and things like that. So where our referrals for foster care come directly from DHHR. Mm-hmm. And most of theirs a lot of theirs, especially during school, come from the school staff and in-home providers. So with those being removed, the guess is that that's why the numbers went down and referrals slowed.
So we also have a question about how many children are served in Jefferson compared to Berkeley and Morgan counties, if you have that.
I don't have numbers on that. Are you talking about for foster care or?
I'm not sure. This is a question from Paul.
Okay.
Paul, if you want to elaborate.
No, I was just curious, just in general, just try to get a sense as to how many children you're serving, in your various programs. Mm-hmm. I don't really need a breakdown. I'm just trying to get a sense. How many students are you serving or children are you serving in Jefferson County compared to Berkeley and Morgan? I'm just trying to get a sense as to where your customers are.
Okay, so I can speak about grand families and permanency. What I see, we don't have a lot of referrals from Morgan County. They are probably the least served, and Then that's for both foster care and grand families. But I would say for grand families, actually, I can speak to that because I've run the numbers. We have more Berkeley County participants than Jefferson County. Almost, I would say triple Berkeley County to Jefferson County. For permanency, which foster care and adopt, there's definitely, I don't have numbers, but from my perspective, we do get a lot more from Berkeley County than Jefferson County. How much, I'm not sure, but we also receive referrals throughout the state. So, you know, we have a few kiddos here from Hampshire. We have some from Morgantown, Wheeling. So when referrals go out, if the local area does not have a home for a child, then they send out a statewide. And that's how kiddos come from all over the state. So, but I think it's, you know, we're in Berkeley because we're in Martinsburg and we are very, you know, we're close to the DHHR here. So, I think that's why we get a lot from Berkeley over Jefferson. But Jefferson still, I mean, we get them, but not as much.
Thank you, Rhonda.
And then Celestine can talk about weekend. I'm not.
Okay. The weekend, I have 5 kids that's in Morgan County. Jefferson County, I have 8, and the rest of them come from Berkeley County.
And that's a 40?
Huh?
That's a 40 total?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might be off a little few, but Jefferson and Berkeley are the main counties. The reason Morgan has 5 kids because our family moved up there the summertime. So I'm trying to get them matched up with somebody local. That way I have a volunteer that goes up there once a month to make sure that they are getting on Zoom. Mom needs what she has to have to maintain the household. And we're doing all we can to help her. She's a single mother of 6 kids. So that's about where we're at right now. There is 18 kids that is in the Zoom on Saturday. So trying to add kids in with the Zoom slowly. Because like you said, some of them have internet, some of them don't. If they don't do Zoom while they're in school, it makes it hard for them to get on for the every other Saturday program.
Thank you, Celestine. Appreciate that information.
Celestine, can you remind me again how when did the weekend program start? How long have you guys been doing that?
I've been doing the weekend mentoring program since 2009.
Okay. And Rhonda, I have one more question. How long do children usually stay in foster care with you all?
It varies.
Average.
It definitely varies. You know, some kids are here, you know, until DHHR finds a kinship home, because that is the goal is to be, if they're not with biological parents, it's for them to be placed with, you know, relative kinship placement. But typically, I mean, average, I would say about a year, if the cases go smoothly. But again, it can go over that. I have kiddos right now who have been here, it'll be 2 years in May. So it really depends. It depends on the type of case. It depends on how involved the biological parents are in their case. And if they're doing everything that they're supposed to be doing that DHHR has requested. So, and usually when they come into care, they're coming in with nothing typically. I mean, clothes on their back. If you're lucky, the parent might have packed a bag for them. So when we place them in our foster homes. We always have a care bag for them ready to go. A lot of them are donated to us. So, like a blanket, a stuffed animal, an outfit, a game, a book, just something, for them to keep, and then a bag, because a lot of kids, when they're moving from home to home, a lot of times it's in trash bags, which is not good, especially with all the trauma that they've gone through. So we really do our best to be able to provide them with what they need, to really, they're a person. So they need bags to do that. So, and then, DHHR also provides a voucher for the family so that they can get what they need, which is always helpful for that.
Rhonda, you want to tell them about the resource closet?
Oh yeah, I forgot about the resource closet. Thank you, Celestine. I think because we're in the middle of a move, so it's not really up and running again right now. But we did last year. Was it last year, Celestine, we started that? We have a resource closet for the community, which has, different hygiene products, clothing, some baby items, school supplies and things like that. And that's open to the community. And again, all of those are, donated items. So we're always looking for donations for our resource closet, to maintain that for the community. And it will be up again once we're in our new building, which hopefully we're hoping next month. Been a long process.
Rhonda, if people wanted to drop off any items for your resource closet, is that something they could do, and where should they do that?
So currently, Celestine, tell me if I'm wrong. I think we're holding off on the donations.
We're not taking any used
Right.
donation.
Okay.
We're in need of Pampers,
Yes. Okay.
hygiene.
That's what I was gonna say. So we've stopped, because a lot of community members drop off like used items, because we used to do a community wide, I don't even know what we called it, just a community event where we had donated items from families that, they didn't no longer need, and the community could come and get them for free. But our resource closet, we are taking donations, for new items for that. And they can drop it off at our current location, which is 653 Winchester Avenue, because our other office right now there's not always somebody there. But then once we move, the new address is 100 South Queen Street. So once we move, donations would be there, because that's where the resource closet is going to be.
Great, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make sure that all this information gets out to our membership that's here today, but also we'll go with the follow-up for anybody that wasn't able to make it today too. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Hey, Julia, can I ask a question? This is Chris Cox. Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
So I see, as I look on my screen, and I see all of these different agencies represented, from CASA to Children's Home Society to WeCan, Boys and Girls Club, Able Gamers, among a myriad of others that could be represented. Forgive my ignorance, because it's probably out there, but has anybody synthesized or otherwise aggregated all of these various resources, to your knowledge or to anybody's knowledge, kind of a one-stop shop for here's how to get help in these arenas? And if so, who is that, or whose responsibility would it be, to the degree it is someone, DHHR or someone? I mean, is there some place where we can go to get that information passively, or people can? Does anybody know the answer to that question?
Yeah. 211. So Chris, at DHHR, there's a helpline called it. You just dial 211, and that will take you to a resource center, and they can disseminate, either information services or whatever, whatever a family might need. Julie, you can probably elaborate a little bit more on that, but that's the number.
Well, I was going to say 211 is probably the foremost resource for, especially when you're talking sort of the social services type arena. But I would also add that the Family Resource Network is sort of a secondary to that. And there are some resources that the website is frnotp.org.com, something like that. But it's the Family Resource Network of the Panhandle. And that is sort of a clearinghouse for Berkeley, Morgan, and Jefferson County, that a lot of, their the Health and Human Services Collaborative, the KIT Collaborative, there are different work groups that actually work in sort of these specific arenas, whether it's child welfare, healthy families. There was one that was just specifically a healthcare work group. So a lot of people that, were like hospice, Panhandle Home Health, WVU Medicine, Valley Healthcare, a lot of different entities would gather under these different work groups, but there's a long list of resources there. Thank you, Stacy. So Stacy put that in to the chat there. That's probably a place that if you can't get directly connected with 211, you could probably find it on their website.
Thank you. I'll get to doing my homework. Thank you.
Sure. We'll take any other questions if anybody has them. Okay. And Rhonda or Celestine, where, if people want to follow up with you all, I know Celestine, you gave us your email address. Rhonda, is there an email or website anybody should call if they want to follow up with you all?
My email address is rjenkins@childhswv.org. And also our office phone number here is 304-264-0225.
And when will you be moving to the new office?
Well, it was supposed to be December. It's a moving target right now. We're hoping February, but things keep popping up, so we'll see.
Sure. But sometime, this spring-ish.
Yes.
Spring.
Yeah.
Great. Fantastic. Well, congratulations on the new home. That's
Thank you.
Always very exciting news. And we really, really appreciate you all joining us today and sharing your information. Stacy put some websites in the chat for folks for 211 and the FRN. And I'll be sure to pass that around. But thank you all very, very much for the information, great questions. And we're looking forward to hearing more from you as the year progresses.
Thank you for the invite.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Is there any other news for the good of the group from Rotarians? Anything anybody needs to share? Updates? All right, well, with that, I guess we'll let everybody off to their day and looks forward to seeing you guys next week. Next week will be Tiffany Hine with Hollywood Toastmasters, and she's gonna tell us a little bit more about the service project that we're doing right now. Leo, you can correct me where I'm wrong, please, with the animal shelter.
You're absolutely right.
We have had some donations, by the way. Kevin Brackens donated, I think it's like 15 cases of paper towels, and Daryl Jones, 5-gallon jugs of disinfectant concentrate with spray bottles. And Raul has picked up from me one portion of it. And I think he's going to swing by tomorrow and pick up Daryl's donation. So I don't know, others have come in, but I do know Kevin and Daryl both have contributed.
Great. And Leo, how long is this project going to run? How long do we have to make donations?
I do believe, let me pull it back up here. It's going to be,
It's February something.
yeah, it's February 22nd, I believe, 23rd.
Yeah.
Okay,
Should probably make another reminder out to the club about it.
great.
I think it'll be easy when we have Tiffany on next week to talk about what we're
Oh,
doing.
that's true. Yeah, there's a reminder right there. Duh. See, my hair's only half blonde anymore, so I still, you know.
All right, well, thank you all. We'll see you next week, and have a great week.
Bye,
You
guys.
too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take it easy.
Bye-bye.